Good evening, dear Pantomats. Hope you all are doing fine. This is your mentor Panchali once again. I'm here with yet another video of your writing skills, and today we will discuss report writing. First of all, let us look at the marking scheme. It is a 10-marker question where 1 mark is for format, 4 marks for content, and 5 marks for expression. Now the title and your name would fetch you 1 mark. The content would fetch you 4 marks, and you would be awarded another 5 marks for grammatical accuracy, appropriate words and spellings, coherence and relevance of ideas and style. So the total of 10 marks. As it is a 10-marker question, the word limit can go up to 150 to 200 words. Now, if you look at the slide, it talks about what report writing is. In simpler way, if we say the definition of report writing is creating an account or statement that describes in detail an event, situation or occurrence, usually as a result of observation or inquiry. The most common form of report writing are newspaper report writing and magazine report writing, that is covered under the CBSE syllabus. There are other forms of report writing as well, but we do not cover that under the CBSE syllabus. Now, reports are of two types. The first one is the newspaper report, which includes the place, date, time along with the heading and the staff correspondent's name, which would be a part of your format. And in the magazine report, it would include the heading, the writer's name, along with the school or the class which the writer is studying in. In your question, if the designation of the writer is given, that could also be mentioned. Now just let us go ahead and look at the format of both the reports and understand it in a better way. Now let us look at the format of the newspaper report. First, we write the title, that is what this report is all about. By name is your name. Within bracket, you'll write staff correspondent or staff reporter. That is a must. After a comma, you write the name of the newspaper. I have written it in short form, TOI, that is Times of India. You can either write it this way or you can write the complete thing, the Times of India, the Hindustan Times or the Hindu. Now leave a line and then you write the place, date and time when this report is being written. Without leaving a line, just after the colon, you start with your report. The report has to be written in minimum 3 paragraphs, where introduction, exposition, and conclusion would be there. Now, if you want to elaborate it a little more, you can add another paragraph before the conclusion, which could be the suggestion. Now, look at the magazine report. The title and the by name would be same as the newspaper report. The only difference here is the staff correspondent and no name of newspaper is mentioned in the magazine report. Instead of that, here, whatever is given in your question would be mentioned, either class or school or your designation. Here, also you'll write this report in 3 paragraphs, but you can also complete it in 1 paragraph. It depends on how it has been taught in your school. So you'll have to keep that in mind and write it in the similar way. Now let us look at the sample question of a newspaper report. Dear Pulkit or Prima, a staff reporter of the Times of India, you have been asked to cover an incident of daylight robbery on the outskirts of Delhi when the inmates were present in the house. Write a report in 100 to 125 words. Here, the name of the newspaper has been given. So, the title is Daylight Robbery, your name, by Prema or Pulkit, whatever you're writing. Within bracket, staff reporter, comma, the Times of India. Now, the place, date and time has been mentioned, 17th August 2020, Delhi, 10 a.m. Alright, though it's a future date, but then you'll have to write it in the past. A daring daylight robbery has set fear and anxiety in the minds of the residents of Najafgarh that lies on the outskirts of Delhi. That is your introduction part. Then the exposition and then the conclusion. Now I have taken a very short sample which is 100 to 125 words. You will have to write an elaborate one. So that has to be of 200 words. Here I have just picked up this sample to give you an idea that always whenever you are writing a report, the introduction and the conclusion would have minimum number of words, whereas your exposition and your suggestion would have maximum number of words. Exposition is always maximum number, and then you can reduce few words in the suggestion if you're including one. Otherwise, the conclusion and the introduction would have minimum number of words as shown in this sample. So I hope this is clear, the sample question of a newspaper report. Now let us go ahead with a sample question of a magazine report. Recently, a cultural program was arranged by BM Public School, Noida, with the help of the local artists of the city for raising funds to help an association for the differently able children of your city. Write a report in 100 to 125 words for publication in the newsletter of your school. You are Sunil or Sunita, secretary of the social club of your school. So if you see here, the designation has been mentioned. So the title here is Cultural Program to Help Disabled by Sunita, that is the name given, and then the designation which is Secretary Social Club. Now in case in the question there is no designation given, we could write BM Public School here. Now if you see the time, date and place, everything is mentioned within the report. Unlike the newspaper report where it was written in the beginning, here it is within the content. So our school arranged a cultural program on the date and then time and then where, the school premises. So you can write it this way. This is the way the magazine report would be written, and this is how it is different from the newspaper report. Now you'll have to remember that you'll have to mention facts. It has to be factual. It cannot be fictional. Hoping that both the samples are clear, I would discuss the guidelines and the common mistakes. The first one is, most of the time students forget to mention the name of the newspaper. That is very important. If your question says, write a report for the National Daily, please do not write National Daily within bracket. National Daily means the newspaper that comes to your house daily. That is not the name of the newspaper. So, if National Daily is given, you can write the Times of India, the Hindustan Times, or any newspaper that you read that comes to your home, but not National Daily. Second, the report always has to be factual. As we have discussed, you cannot add fictions. It has to be factual. So if you are not sure about a statistical data, do not write about it. If you're not sure about the numbers, like at times I see students mentioning the population of a particular country when they are not sure about it and they're just writing it vaguely, you're not supposed to do that. Third is, it has to be in past tense because this is something which has already happened, which has already taken place. So we are not supposed to write it in present tense or future tense. Yes, the conclusion part where you're writing that the police is in search of the, culprits and they will be caught soon or something will be done, that is a different thing. But the entire report that you're writing, that has to be in past tense. Now, do not forget to read the report once after you have drafted it. You'll have to stick to the word limit. Once your report is complete, ask the following question to yourself while reading the report. When, what, why, and how. If these questions are answered, then your report is perfect. As your report is a 10-marker question, the word limit is 200 to 250 words. So I would suggest that do not look at the sample questions or Google for report writing, as they are the short reports, just 100 words, for better understanding. It does not mean that your report has to be of this length. Your report has to be an elaborate one, and only then you score well. So before I conclude, I would reiterate that if you have any doubts, any queries, please do mention in the comment section and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you. Keep studying. Have a great day. Bye-bye.